it's hard to overstate how game-breaking this ability would be if it weren't on a character with otherwise pathetic base stats.
Damn. Bruh, why Tears are getting so disrespectful to the leaf sheep community, bruh? God damn, this ability would be amazing if it wasn't wasted on a piece of shit, dog shit ass, no ability having fucking piece of shit build. But other than that, like, golly, Mr. Zoo. I like how it said it got a toxic venom, and next it shows a guy with a wedding. I'm assuming it's like an engagement or wedding ring right there. Picking that shit up normally. Why can a married man never have a normal hobby? What do you like? I like playing basketball. I like gardening. Oh, what do you like? I like learning about like astronomy and space. What do you like? I like splunking and cave diving and picking up dangerous venomous creatures. Oh. You know what grinds my gears, bro? Minor inconveniences to where you feel the need you can't complain about. I hate those. Like, Hoodydude rant. Hoodydude, I just want to watch. Shut the fuck up, buddy. No one cares what you want. It's my channel, pussy. Shut up. Bro, like, I despise minor inconveniences you can never complain about. Whenever someone asks for favors or they need help, but you can never say no to, that's what annoys the shit out of me. And I know that sounds bad, but like, hear me out. Check me out. I don't like minor inconveniences and like having to help people that I can't say no to such a degree where it becomes an issue with my schedule and my fucking, like, what I'm doing, right? That's what annoys the fuck out of me, man. It pisses me off to no fucking, like, it just pisses me off, bro. Because, like, I get it. Like, there's going to be instances where I have to help somebody, right? And I'm obligated to help them. I'm going to help them because I love them to death. Boom. Helping them out. Cool. Not really much of it. But then you got to help them again. And again. And again. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. It's so fucking aggravating, bro. Like, because now you're fucking up my plans. You're fucking up my shit. Ah! Bro, it's so, oh my God. You feel me? Like, dog, that should be the most aggravating, soul, like, burning shit I've ever be experiencing, bro. Because I'm one of those people that's gonna bite my tongue from time to time. Because, bro, it be pissing me off, too. Don't get me started. Don't get the fucking snowball rolling, gang. Because when I start getting mad and I start saying shit, that's when motherfuckers' feelings start getting hurt. That's when motherfuckers start getting real mad. That's when I start saying shit, what's on my fucking mind, motherfuckers start feeling bad and shit, bro. That's when motherfuckers' feelings start getting hurt. Motherfuckers start getting their feelings hurt, bro. Getting their feelings and shit. Boy, I love YouTube, man. I love this shit. I can vent all my emotions out in a healthy manner, gang. Hey, don't hold shit in. Actually, do hold shit in because motherfuckers' feelings get hurt. And, that's not good. Anyways, that's over. That's over, bro. Today, we got another Tier Zoo upload, bro. The Mollusk tier list. Mollusk. How the fuck do I pronounce this? Hold on. Hoodydude detour this early. Yes. How do I pronounce this?
Mollusks.
Mollusks? Well, America pronounce it. British. How do y'all British pronounce it?
Mollusks.
Ugh. Alright, this is gonna be the mollusk. Hold on.
Mollusks.
Tier list. The mollusk tier list. Fellas, I'm excited. Lock in, bruh. Mom said it was my turn with this show. I ain't gonna lie. Tell Mom, no. God damn! I low-key want to know what the most intense battle was in animal history that humans don't know about. Like, real talk, what do you think the biggest, baddest, most fucking JJK Gojo versus Sukuna level fight in the animal kingdom? Like, what if that has happened and transpired, right? But nobody knows about it, like, no one in terms of humanity. This was done in the ocean floor, in the middle of the forest, in the fucking Sahara Desert. Like, I want to know the fucking most hype, bloodiest animal fight that's ever transpired, bro. I will find out. It happened at a zoo.
Mollusks are one of the most diverse factions in the entire game. Indeed, much more diverse than I think most players realize. They're extremely popular, both among casual and competitive
Oh, so there's squids and like snails? Okay.
players, with some builds demanding incredible levels of skill to pilot, while others are practically AFK. And with so many different potential mollusk builds to choose from, it can be difficult to know which builds are actually competitively viable in the current meta. So today, we're going to go through the mollusk tier list. While I attempt to cover as many of the popular well-known builds as I can, mollusks are an extremely broad category. Second,
God damn, all these builds, bro. Hey, bro, all these content creators wanted to make their own builds, bro. This is the greatest 2K center build of all time. This is the greatest mollusk build of all time. This is this, that, and the third. Shut the fuck up, bro. You know what else grinds my gears? Let me stop. Let me chill out.
and only to arthropods in terms of number of individual members, so inevitably some are getting left out of this video for the sake of time. Still, by highlighting standout builds in both the high and low tiers, hopefully I can give you a good understanding of where the mollusk faction fits into the current metagame,
Alright,
and you'll be able to fill in the gaps for yourself.
Okay, using it for my rebirth build, bitch.
But before we dive into the tier list, what is a mollusk? And what are their common attributes? Mollusks are a huge group, encompassing all gastropods, all bivalves, and all cephalopods. While every group has its outliers, most factions at least have some consistency in their base stats. Birds tend to have pretty high mobility, mammals tend to have high intelligence, arthropods high defense, and so on. With mollusks, though, it's pretty hard to pin down any obvious through line.
They're all squishy, I think. They're all squishy, and yeah, they're all really squishy. They're all really squishy, and they look the same. Is that racist? I mean, not really. I mean, yeah, it kind of is. I ain't gonna lie, we need a new, I ain't gonna lie, y'all mollusk builds out there, y'all need to change the aesthetics of it. I ain't gonna hold you guys. Y'all ain't got no camos, no emblems on that bitch. Lame asses.
Pick any one stat and you
Imagine a mollusk fashion influencer.
can probably find a mollusk both at the top and bottom of the charts. But one thing you will not find is a mollusk with basic middle-of-the-road stats. While the numbers and combinations...
Wait, what the fuck? How did a bald eagle get in this situation, though? I think it's the bald eagle's fault. How do you get so close to the ground that an octopus... Imagine, dude, he got hit with the octopus cannon from Madagascar, bitch. Like, he got sniped out the air by Vector.
will vary greatly between builds. One thing I've noticed is that just about every mollusk has something extreme about it, with at least one stat being either incredibly high or abysmally low. But anyway...
POV, the one homie wanted a solo push, bitch. This is the fucking situation you found him in. Trash!
Given just how hard it is to generalize them, we may as well just dive straight into the tier list.
Alright, the common slug, F tier.
At the bottom of F tier, we have the common slug. Now, while this build may look like it has all the downsides of the snail without any of the benefits of the snail's protective shell, yeah, it's pretty much exactly what it looks like.
Oh.
Garden Slug genuinely has some of the worst stats in the entire game, with even its best stat being fairly mid. Its only defensive ability is its slime, which does help ward off attacks from insects. It's a double-edged sword though, as their slime also leaves a trail, making slugs one of the easiest builds in the game to track down. Now, I will admit, there are some advantages to not having a shell, the main one being that slugs can slip through much smaller cracks.
That's kind of foul. That's kind of cool.
And hide underground much more easily. However, since they need to come out to feed anyway, this doesn't really help them avoid predation all that well. So with all these negatives and...
They move like a Smiling Friends character, bro. But, bro, I ain't gonna lie. Y'all be... Bro, these be the rank teammates game. It's my rank up game. These motherfuckers choose the Garden Snail build. That's crazy, bro. The Garden Slug? That's what y'all be choosing? Bro, they got a crazy MVP, like top 100 fucking, octopus player, and you want to pick the fucking Garden Slug? I ain't gonna lie, bro. That's 5 right hooks to the gut right then and there, bro. That's my rank up game too. You're getting reported for fucking throwing, bitch.
Pretty much nothing else going for them.
F tier,
snail without a shell is going in F tier.
Put them down there, bro. Sold me so many rank games.
Next in F tier, we have the common clam.
These are animals? Shut up. Sorry, I don't live in fucking Rhode Island where clams are everywhere. I know clams are actual. I know clams are something. I thought they were just like plants. I thought they were animals to the same degree as like how plants were alive. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
A build that exemplifies the extreme stat lines I was talking about to a T.
All defense.
With no eyes, terrible movement abilities, and no attacking moves, and no brain, the clam has to rely on only 2 stats, both of which are quite high. The first is their stealth, on account of the clam's surprisingly decent burrowing ability.
I don't think I've ever seen a clam fucking move. I'm completely unnerved.
Themselves into the seabed, they can stay out of sight from most potential threats. But if an enemy manages to find them in spite of this...
Was that dog gonna try to hump the clam, bro? Hold on.
From most potential threats. But if an enemy manages to
find... Bro, look! Zesty ass dog, bro. Dog mains are completely wild, bro.
Find them in
Who's about to hump the fucking clam?
Out of this, The clam has some of the heaviest armor of any
He
mollusk,
trying!
being able to deflect some pretty substantial damage. But with no ability to counterattack or escape, eventually a persistent attacker will deal enough damage to spell game over.
Well, to be fair, that's the fucking punch crab, right? Doesn't this crab, or like not crab, shrimp punch and like mock whatever the fuck? That's kind of OD.
Well, okay, technically clams can move, but
Ugh.
I mean, come on. In the current meta, this just isn't enough.
Ugh,
What's worse is
freaky
that
ass.
even though clams can burrow down to hide, in order to survive, they need to filter feed, and to do that, they must poke their most vulnerable weak point above the surface of the seabed, giving away their hiding spot and opening themselves up to a devastating critical hit.
Could've got
With
a boner.
moderate
What the fuck?
severe plaque
A POV Iron Man 3.
psoriasis, my skin was no longer mine.
My active psoriatic arthritis.
God, is this what arthritis feels like, bro? Feels like a fucking Iron Man armor? Valid. No, arthritis is cool. No,
At the top of F tier, we have the common snail.
what a title. The top of F tier.
The garden snail has most of the same weaknesses as the previous two entries on the tier list, but slightly less severe. Snails are every bit as slow and non-threatening as slugs, but they do at least have a shell to help block attacks. They
Yeah.
can even use their shell to shield bash attackers in a pinch, though this doesn't do much damage. However,
I
similar
did not know they could do that. That's really cool, Cuddy. Animation canceling ass snail.
to the clam, because of how slow their movement speed is and how weak their
God
counterattacks
damn, Cuddy getting Hulk Ultra right now.
are, eventually an aggressive player will be able to punch through their defenses. So they're not the worst of the worst, but compared to some of the unique and powerful abilities we'll see higher up on the tier list, the basic snail build just isn't going to cut it.
Scallops.
At the bottom of D tier, we have the scallop. The scallop is essentially a more decked out version of the clam, though it
So, bruh, imagine being the first. Imagine like spending your rebirth stuff on like the clam build, because I don't know why you would do that. That's probably a cardinal sin. But then you wake up and realize that the scallops are just a way better version of your build. I'll be mad as fuck. I ain't gonna lie.
has a lower base defense stat than the clam. Its weaknesses are also much less
But it moves better.
pronounced. Instead of being completely immobile, scallops, oddly enough, have the jet propulsion ability.
Really?
Something usually only found in cephalopods and box jellies. Though it has a high cooldown, this ability gives them an escape option if they're ever under direct attack.
Trash ass escape though.
Something every other build on this list so far desperately needs. Of course, being able to flee from battle wouldn't do them much good if they couldn't see attacks coming. But thankfully, scallops also spec into primitive eyes,
They have eyes? Wait, what are these things?
enabling them to detect predators
Oh, the blueberry ass eyes.
and reposition themselves accordingly. In theory, anyway. One of the issues with simple eyes is that even the most basic stealth techniques, such as, for example, moving very slowly, can get past their danger sense, resulting in scallops getting regularly bodied by starfish. So, while they're definitely a bit more versatile than some mollusks, I can't give them too much credit.
That makes sense. The chambered Nautilus.
Next, in D tier, we're gonna have the first of the cephalopods on our tier list,
Ooh.
the chambered Nautilus. The
Okay,
Nautilus
that's
is
a tough ass name though.
a slow-moving,
It sounds like an HP Lovecraft monster.
armored scavenger build that sustains itself mostly on detritus and carrion that is sunk to the bottom of the sea. While being able to swim while rocking a tough shell is impressive, their terrible swim speed shows just how power crept this ancient build has gotten. Their perception stat is also pretty mid, especially for a cephalopod, which
Trash
on
ass.
average have some of the best vision of any marine build. The Nautilus used to be a much more popular build until seals and sea lions were added to the game, as their high agility and armor-piercing bite gave them a crushing matchup versus the Nautilus. So, while it is impressive that the
It looks like he's just animation canceling and just humping the fucking ground to propel himself forward. By default, this guy should automatically be A tier.
Nautilus has made it through some of the roughest balanced patches in the game's history, the fact that they were driven to the depths by seals doesn't scream high tier to me.
Okay, but seals are kind of terrifying. I'm not gonna lie, Mr. Zoo. No disrespect to your, intelligence, but seals are fucking horrifying. The Geographic Cone. That's a horrid name. I ain't gonna lie. I'm assuming this is a C tier, right? Like, I've never heard of this name in my life, Cuddy. These fucking two-way glue guy ass builds, bro. Who be in the build creator just coming up with these goddamn build names, bro? The Geographic Cone. This bitch got no badges. This be my rank team in this game. I be trying to play fucking wreck. Pass the ball. No.
First in C tier, we have the Geographic Cone.
She got no
This
badges.
marine snail build rocks pretty much all the same strengths and weaknesses as your average snail,
This shit finna be the first to go into Nuzlocke. Hoodydude, shut the fuck up.
with one major exception. This snail can one-shot just about anything.
Oh shit. Hold on, he might be cooking.
The Geographic Cone has a venomous harpoon which it uses to hunt fish, but it can also use it to defend itself in a pinch. Now, the Geographic Cone is still incredibly slow.
That's cool. Okay, that's cool. So hold
and
on.
really not all that stealthy, so actually landing a hit on a fish is a bit of a challenge.
Okay.
Still, this is one gastropod you really don't want to underestimate. The cone snail's harpoon pierces armor, so any starfish main who thinks that all mollusks are easy pickings is in for a rude awakening.
Okay, that's cool as shit. I ain't gonna lie, take back what I said, bro. He has like a harpoon weapon that that pierce through anything, well, damn near everything, and it like comes. That's cool. That's cool. It reminds me of some fucking alien shit, dude. That's cool as fuck. That's cool as fuck. All right, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. All right, you proved me wrong, Mr. Zoo. You proved me wrong. I think I've seen these before. The Dumbo Octopus. Oh yeah, I think the Geographic dude. The Geographic dude explained it, and then while he was ruining Nemo to me by scientific accuracy.
Next in C tier, we have the Dumbo Octopus. This is one of the strangest cephalopod builds in the entire game,
Kinda fire.
and lacks a lot of the signature abilities players normally associate with the octopus. But it also has a mix of other unique traits that normal octopuses don't.
Como que?
You see, the Dumbo Octopus is a deep sea build, and on that server, the normal stealth techniques simply don't apply. Color changing and ink clouds aren't going to do a player any good when most of the major threats aren't
Don't rely on eyesight. Yeah.
relying on vision anyway.
Yeah.
So even though those abilities are what the octopus is best known for, unfortunately the Dumbo Octopus has to find other ways to remain hidden from predators. And unfortunately this means it needed to make even more trade-offs. Rather than using jet propulsion, which is a conspicuous and turbulent, but incredibly effective movement ability, the Dumbo Octopus swims using large fins on the side of its mantle. This is significantly slower, but a great deal stealthier too. This makes it too slow to catch fish, but it's still able to thrive off of its winning matchup versus crustaceans. Its webbed tentacles are perfect for surrounding and capturing targets on the seafloor.
That's so cool.
Definitely an interesting build, but by having to sacrifice so much of what makes the octopus so overpowered, the Dumbo Octopus is definitely one of the lower tier ones.
On the bright side, though, it looks very cool. I'm not gonna lie. The ears on the end that can actually, okay, that's cool. That can propel it forward, that makes it move. It's cool. Were they cooking in the lab? No, they forgot a few spices and a few key ingredients, but it looks cool. Bobtail Squid.
And at the top of C tier, we
Kinda got the dark matter skin, bro.
also have the first squid on our list, the Bobtail Squid. This is another cephalopod which uses a fairly unorthodox ability to boost its stealth. As one of the smallest cephalopods in the game, the Bobtail Squid really cannot take any hits. So, in order to avoid most of the ocean's major threats, the Bobtail buries itself during the day and only comes out at night. However, even under cover of darkness, the Bobtail Squid would still be at risk of being attacked. Though it's somewhat counterintuitive, on a night where the moon and stars are unobscured, detecting another player in the water isn't as hard as you might think. The shadows they cast in the water are highly visible and give away a player's location immediately, making it very easy for predators lurking below to strike.
So it's like, bro, it's like cutting down trees in Fortnite, bro. Fully breaking trees in Fortnite. I remember motherfuckers used to do that shit on my fucking squad, bro. They had to be gunned down immediately. That was friendly fire was still wasn't a thing, right? So I could just kill anybody on my team. I ain't gonna lie, bro. They had to be terminated.
The Bobtail Squid deals with this by speccing into an extremely rare and strange ability, bioluminescence.
That's cool as fuck.
It may seem backwards to hide by glowing, but doing so obscures the squid by removing its shadow.
That's cool.
Of course,
that's
this
cool.
does
That's
make
cool.
them easier to detect
see,
from
but
above.
That's flare though.
But attacks at night from seabirds are much less common.
Yeah.
The bobtail may have the lowest stats of any cephalopod, but its unique and creative way of hiding in plain sight keeps it out of the low tiers. I can't give it too much credit though, because while its strategy for stealth at night is clever, honestly, it's not that good at hiding during the daytime.
I was about to say, yeah, the daytime's probably fucking sticking out like a sore thumb, but hey, you look cool as fuck, dying.
Having a seemingly worse ability to camouflage itself due to its bright coloration.
Leaf sheep?
At the bottom of B tier, we
I've never seen this.
have the leaf sheep, a sea slug with a truly
That's so
unique
cute.
ability
Hold
called
on.
kleptoplasty. Leaf sheep is able to absorb the chloroplasts from the algae it consumes, essentially stealing the algae's photosynthesis ability. This ability generates XP passively over time, allowing them to grow, heal, and regenerate their energy without eating.
It looks like Baymax, just with big-ass arms just waving at me. It's very cute.
It's hard to overstate how game-breaking this ability would be if it weren't on a character with otherwise pathetic base stats.
Damn. Bruh, why Tears are getting so disrespectful to the leaf sheep community, bruh? God, this ability would be amazing if it wasn't wasted on a piece of shit, dog shit ass, no ability having fucking piece of shit build. But other than that, like, golly, Mr. Zoo,
For a human, this would basically be like if sitting in the sun provided you with the same benefits as eating well and working out. Unlike some of the sea slugs higher up on this list, the leaf sheep doesn't really have any defensive abilities. But if you want a character that is extremely forgiving in terms of the resource management side of things, the leaf sheep may actually be the best build in the game for anyone looking for that chill casual playstyle.
That's cool as fuck. I did not know the leaf sheep was existed, bro. That's cool. That's cool. Giant squid, okay.
On pretty much the exact opposite end of the spectrum, next in B tier, we have the giant squid. Now, obviously, this thing's HP stat is extreme, with it being the largest mollusk in the game. But one thing I bet you weren't expecting—
I really wonder who the first person to encounter a sea squid was. Like, how did that feel? As like a caveman or like a pirates just exploring the seven seas, and this shit just washes up in shore. Like, Jesus. I could not be this guy right here, like, with the hand. He's way too bold, bro. I'd be scared that motherfucker finna latch onto me and pull me into that water, bitch. Like, he finna fucking, like, phase pomage, boom, snatch me up like a fucking, I don't even know, bro. Like prime Batman with a grappling hook, and it's GG's for me. I'm seeing the gulag, bro.
Was for it to also have the highest perception stat of any mollusk. I mentioned before that in the dark depths of the ocean, the normal stealth mechanics don't
work, yeah.
Well, the giant squid is the exception to this.
Really?
Its eyes are so large, the largest in the game in fact, that even with only a tiny fraction of a percent of sunlight making it to the depths, the giant squid can still see. This is bad news for all the deep sea builds that assumed camouflage wasn't necessary and spec'd their character accordingly. This incredible eyesight is necessary for more than just hunting though. Being gigantic unfortunately makes you extremely easy to detect via echolocation, so they have to remain vigilant constantly to avoid being ambushed by the Abyssal server's true apex predator. Luckily, their vision has a range just barely more than that of the whale's sonar, so as long as they're on top of their game, they should be able to outmaneuver and avoid attacks.
That's cool. Colossal
On
squid.
this same tier, I'm also going to include the Colossal Squid, which has many of the same traits as the giant squid, including massive eyes and incredible dark vision. The Colossal Squid does have a few subtle differences in its kit though. It's slightly heavier, but also less mobile, relying on ambushes using its 2 extra long arms to capture—
That is horrifying as fuck.
prey, as opposed to the giant squid's more traditional method of rushing down a target with an array of tentacles. The Colossal Squid also has hooks on its arms, which do more damage and can inflict bleed buildup, making them much more dangerous for whales to attack, making up for their slower swim speed. However, at the end of the day, both the giant squid and Colossal Squid have terrible matchups against whales, and because of their large size, their energy upkeep costs are insane. So they have to play pretty much a perfect game to avoid getting smoked.
That sucks. So that's like hardcore
Both are
shit.
powerful builds if you know what you're doing, but not without their limitations.
Okay. That seems like a fun build, though. Colossal Squid, what are the difference between the two, though? I mean, he already said it. It's mobility and the way they attack, right? One's more like, ambushy, while the other one's pure, like, rush downward, straight attack, and straight, like, touchy, like, like a frat guy, right? Straight touchy, like, So I get that. But say that, what is the difference to, like, classify these as 2 separate species? That looks cool as fuck. What is this?
At the bottom of A tier, we have another sea slug,
Looks like a cheerleader.
the blue sea dragon. Similar to the leaf sheep, this slug also has the power to copy the ability of its main food source. But in this case, the blue dragon isn't consuming algae, it's consuming jellyfish.
That's cool. So Utah Kotsu ass
The
motherfucking
blue sea
jellyfish,
dragon
bitch.
is able to absorb the venomous nematocyst
Hold on, I'm turning on my car. I'm fucking burning.
Hoodydude, this is unprofessional. I don't know why you would do this. No other YouTuber will actually ever do this shit. They will just cut it out and keep reacting to the video. I'm a fucking loser. I go to summer school.
Shut up. Lock in.
from the tentacles of their prey, and in doing so, gains a massive buff in the form of an equally deadly sting at the tip of its frills. This is incredible, as the blue sea dragon is able to gain the most powerful ability of—
I like how it said it got a toxic venom, and next it shows a guy with a wedding. I'm assuming it's like an engagement or wedding ring right there. Picking that shit up normally. Why can a married man never have a normal hobby? What do you like? I like playing basketball. I like gardening. Oh, what do you like? I like learning about like astronomy and space. What do you like? I like splunking and cave diving and picking up dangerous venomous creatures. Oh.
the jellyfish faction without any of the awful downsides, like, being literally brainless and having no control over their own movement. Blue sea dragons also have much better stealth than a lot of sea slugs,
Really?
using the counter shading technique with a bright underbelly and dark blue backside. making them hard to see both from above and below. While not quite as OP as some of the cephalopod mollusks, the blue sea dragon definitely stands above all other slugs and snails as a unique and formidable outlier.
That's cool. I love. Okay, creature with the fucking like copy ability are so cool, dude. Common octopus. I knew these were insane. Don't they get like 8 hearts or 4 hearts or some shit? And they can like they're like super like flexible and malleable.
In A tier, we have the
And they're
common
really smart.
octopus, a solid representative of the octopus faction as a whole. It possesses the core abilities that define
Camouflage
the octopus
too,
build,
yeah.
along
Damn.
with its inherent vulnerabilities. Its 2 standout strengths are stealth and intelligence. The common octopus boasts some of the best stealth in the game, capable of changing both its color and texture to blend seamlessly into virtually any environment.
Goddamn tryhard.
Dense weeds, jagged rocks, or barren seabeds. And if its camouflage fails and it's ever spotted,
Could just nutted on me.
it can deploy an ink cloud to temporarily debuff the attacker's perception stat, usually buying enough time to escape. However, escape is often its only viable option, as the octopus has some of the lowest defenses in the game. With no armor whatsoever, any
Coulda got jumped.
hit it takes can deal devastating damage.
That's some shit that would happen to me, bro. I'm cooking some fucking crab, and some insolent sea lion or human man picks me up and eats me. That would happen to me.
Even in a server as perilous as the ocean, where threats abound regardless of armor, the common octopus must play cautiously. Bites from everyday fish can pose a serious risk, so despite its impressive abilities, it requires careful strategy to survive. Speaking of bites though, one lesser known but important ability the octopus has is venom, which it
I know about
delivers
that.
via a bite with its sharp beak. Finally, now's as good a time as any to say that although it's not a combat weakness, the octopus's biggest weakness is its low lifespan.
Really?
Given that a lot of the octopus's best tricks need to be learned, either by observation or trial and error, the octopus's already powerful intelligence would be a lot more powerful if the devs allowed it to be refined over the course of a few decades,
No.
like dolphins, parrots, and humans get. This weakness is pervasive through the entire cephalopod faction, which is interesting because some of the other mollusks are pretty much the exact opposite. But yeah, this is why despite their many overpowered abilities, it's hard to give any cephalopods a top tier rank unless they're truly broken in even more ways than usual.
That makes sense. Okay. The giant octopus.
Ranking slightly higher in A tier, the giant octopus adapts on the octopus archetype with one minor tweak, trading some stealth for greater strength. While it retains the ability to change color and texture to blend into its surroundings, and can deploy an ink cloud to escape threats, it's less adept at stealth than the common octopus due to its larger size, which makes it more noticeable when moving. However, this trade-off comes with significant advantages. Its above-average bulk gives it a wider margin of error in confrontations. Unlike the typically less brawny octopus builds, the giant octopus boasts impressive physical power, with arms capable of wrestling mid-sized sharks and a beak that deals substantial slicing damage, in addition to being venomous.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, this video just makes me appreciate actually just being human. You know, like, cause I don't gotta worry about me being like being this shark right here. Like, this has gotta be such a painful way to go. Imagine this motherfucker was just going like on a stroll, or maybe he just had a booty call or some shit, right? And he wants to go leave the crib, and as he was walking over there, he gets grabbed by behind by a fucking venomous giant octopus and pulled into him where he's dying slowly and draped around. Like, he's basically getting killed by a fucking blanket with like venom, like a venomous blanket. That's got to be one of the most painful ways to go, bruh.
It also shares the same high intelligence that other octopuses do,
Horrifying.
enabling it to tackle problems and improvise solutions on the spot. Though it shares the same lack of armor as other octopuses, leaving it exposed to heavy damage, the giant octopus's enhanced strength and unique abilities more than offset its reduced stealth, marking it as a force to be reckoned with.
Ooh. The Humboldt Squid. Who comes up with these names?
Next in A tier, we have the Humboldt Squid,
Humboldt. Okay.
also known as
Oh, like an old ass man.
the Red Devil.
Oh.
The Humboldt Squid
Oh, okay. That's better. That's way better.
is the wolf of the ocean. It doesn't have the best stats in any one category. It's not the fastest, it's not the largest, and it's not the deadliest.
Damn. Okay. It's okay.
However, it is well above average in all of those categories,
Oh.
and that, plus some impressive hunting tactics, makes it one of the most fearsome mollusks in the game. During the day, Humboldt squid mains hang out in the deep sea out of sight. But as it gets dark, the hunt begins, and the squid rise from the depths to attack.
That's
They
cool.
hunt in packs, coordinating with each other via pulsing
That's so cool.
red and white light. These feeding frenzies can tear through schools of fish in an instant, and then return back to the depths before builds like the dolphin can arrive to challenge them. Now, obviously, communicating with light pulses has the disadvantage of giving away your location,
Yeah.
so faster characters will usually be able to avoid getting caught in the frenzy. But still, the fear factor alone of getting caught surrounded by large glowing red squid has to earn it a spot in A tier.
That's hard. I heard about these. These are fucking insane. I know about these
last
ones.
in A tier, we have the Mimic Octopus.
It can change shapes into mimic like actual fucking other creatures and like ward off creatures or ward off other people. It's so fucking cool.
The Mimic Octopus
It's like Mystique.
is a smaller mollusk with below average stats for its archetype. However, the Mimic Octopus uses its color change ability in a truly unique way.
It's so fucking cool, bro. Mimic Octopus mates, y'all deserve all the good gawk, bro. Whoever came up with the Mimic Octopus build, kudos to you.
Shapeshift into the form of other marine characters. In doing so, it can trick other players into misplaying in many different ways. The most obvious strategy
It's
is
a snake.
just to mimic a character with a powerful venomous ability, like a lionfish or sea snake. This will cause predators to leave you alone for fear of getting stung or bitten. But this technique can also be used on offense to trick a target into a false sense of security.
That's so fucking cool, bro. I really wonder though, how did it learn to mimic which animals are which? Like, where did that come from, dude?
By mimicking something less dangerous,
How should they mimic a human hand? That'd be fire as fuck. Like, you're like a scuba diver just looking around, just, being, just having fun. And you see a mimic octopus mimicking a human hand, like, boom, 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 like, on beneath a couple rocks. The scuba diver goes towards it, like, oh, what is that? Grabs it. Boom, mimic octopus goes in and kills her to kill. Like, the low-key, they could be demons, bro.
it's like a
YNs, gang.
starfish or flatfish. Now, while this is all extremely impressive, it's worth noting that the Mimic Octopus's options are fairly limited.
Oh, well.
It's most effective at mimicking characters that already share its black and white stripe appearance.
Oh,
when it
so it
attempts
can't
to
change
mimic
colors.
something else, it's admittedly a lot less convincing.
That's
And
fair.
if their disguise fails, their below average base stats leave them in a pretty vulnerable position should an enemy attack. A high skill, high reward technique, and one that deserves some pretty high recognition, but one that's also easy to overestimate. It's clever, but not quite broken. Okay, we've
Okay, that
finally
makes
reached the
sense.
S tier. If you've watched up until this point and are enjoying the video, I'd really appreciate it if you took a second to subscribe to the channel.
Hey, you heard my... Subscribe to the... Am I subscribed to the zoo? Imagine, Cuddy. You weren't subbed.
Thanks. At the
I know how venomous these
bottom
are.
of S tier, we have another small mollusk with blue accents, the blue-ringed octopus.
Bro, these camos are really cool. I ain't gonna lie. These emblems, bro. Peak.
This is one of the smallest octopus builds in the game, but you wouldn't know it if all you saw was its power stat. The blue-ringed octopus has the deadliest venom of any mollusk, even deadlier than the Geographic Cone. Its
God
venom
damn.
is the same neurotoxin found in pufferfish, which can one-shot almost anything within only a few minutes.
Can't one-shot me.
Because of the blue-ringed octopus's insanely high damage, this build opts for the aposomatism technique, where rather than attempting to hide from predators using camouflage, when threatened, it instead boldly asserts its presence with vibrant neon blue markings all along its body.
So it wants you to see them.
In
Okay.
doing so, it is essentially flexing on other predator players.
That's hard as fuck. Okay. I'm a blue ring octopus main.
Saying it has
Fuck
no
it.
reason to fear them and daring them to make a move. This strat is common among players with powerful toxic abilities, and most players quickly learn that bright colors mean danger. Now, one of the usual drawbacks of this ability is that it dramatically cuts the player's own stealth stat. While this trade-off makes sense when it comes to scaring off predators, if you're a predator yourself, this makes the task of catching prey harder, as they'll be able to see you coming more easily. But because of the octopus's innate color change ability, the blue-ringed octopus is able to switch its intimidation ability on and off,
That is so OP.
allowing it to remain stealthy when it needs to. Now, of course, because it's on the small side, there's always a chance an opponent could overwhelm the octopus and
Yeah.
take it down before it had the chance to counterattack. But more often than not, this small
This dumbass. Why the fuck would you swim? I'm gonna rank teammates, bro.
octopus is turning the tide on anything that dares challenge it. While it's definitely a glass cannon, the blue-ringed octopus's incredible stats and unique ability to subvert one of its major weaknesses earns it a spot in S tier.
No, that makes sense. That's hard as fuck.
And on the topic of subverting weaknesses,
Coconut octopus.
next in S tier
What's
we
this?
have the coconut octopus. This is the octopus
Trash ass name.
build with the highest intelligence stat of any mollusk,
Oh.
and the only one that makes tool use a core part of its strategy. The
That's
octopus's biggest weakness is its pathetic defense stat, and this
But I see where this is going. Okay.
was actually a direct nerf to overpowered cephalopod builds of the past. Many cephalopods used to have thick, sturdy shells like other mollusks do, way back during the Ordovician expansion. By using their incredibly high intelligence and tool usability, the coconut octopus is able to regain access to heavy armor by equipping the shells of defeated scallops and clams. This makes them much less vulnerable to being picked off by a random attack from a
makes
fish or
sense.
bird.
Okay.
In addition, kind of similar to the mimic octopus, most players don't have their guard up around a clam.
That's
so
true.
the shells also provide excellent cover to ambush opponents from. And after scoring a win, they can retreat to the safety of their shell
clam,
to
yeah.
avoid getting it stolen, similar to leopards dragging their food up into trees to avoid hyenas.
Imagine imagine this being someone's mom. Imagine Bambi just walking into her mother just being treated like this, bro. POV guts.
But shells aren't the only tools the coconut octopus has learned to incorporate into its combat repertoire. Using its water siphon, it can also launch debris at fish, making them one of the only builds
so
in the game
cool.
with access to a ranged attack. This is excellent at dealing chip damage without leaving the safety of the shell, meaning they don't fall into the same trap as clams by relying on defense with no means of counterattacking. Overall, this is truly one of the most impressive showcases of tool use in the entire game, other than humans, as it legitimately subverts one of the weaknesses of the typical octopus build without sacrificing any of the perks. An easy S tier rank. And now our final S tier, the Cuttlefish. The Cuttlefish has a number of impressive stats, including quite literally the highest stealth stat in the game.
Okay.
It has the most advanced
I remember this from Avengers Age of Ultron 2.
version of the color change ability, and is able to swap between colors at such an
Oh, I know, I did hear it, where they it changes color so fast it breaks the brain. It lags people's game to the point where they can't move and it just makes them AFK. Fuck the Cuttlefish.
incredible rate that it can basically animate its skin. This means
Giving up
that
seizures.
in addition to standard camouflage, the Cuttlefish can also use its appearance to confuse and hypnotize its prey, or startle and intimidate its predators. Though it may not have the ability to fire projectiles like the coconut octopus, its grappling arms give it a deceptively long reach, often catching players off guard and setting
That's
them up
cool
to get
as
comboed
fuck.
into the Cuttlefish's venomous bite.
That's
Even though
cool
the
as
Cuttlefish
fuck.
has no abilities which buff its defense, actually landing a hit on this agile and mesmerizing character is genuinely one of the most difficult things in the game.
Really?
Their speed stat is a lot closer to that of a squid than an octopus,
Okay.
even though the rest of their abilities all align much more closely to the octopus.
God damn, bro. Episodic memory, dynamic camouflage, tentacle strike, texture morphing, venomous bite, and clout. God, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I said this earlier in the video. Imagine coming up with these builds yourself, right? Taking your time, sweet time to make these builds just for someone else to copy that build and just make it better. I'd be mad as fuck.
The Cuttlefish combines the most powerful elements from both the squid, like high maneuverability and long reach,
Yeah.
and the octopus, like intelligence, venom, and color changing, into one overpowered build. And for that, I'm ranking it as the #1 mollusk
That's valid.
in the
That's
game.
valid.
And that's the tier list.
Okay.
Overall, the viability of mollusks is super inconsistent. Best cephalopods are truly busted.
That is fucking horrifying.
The faction is also filled with a lot of suboptimal jank and AFK farming builds. So there really is something for everyone here, from meta tryhards to low-tier heroes. Now, knowing which traits and abilities to invest in can be a difficult choice. Luckily
All right, let's see the sponsor
for
placement.
you, I've partnered with the game Cell to Singularity to provide you the perfect training simulation.
This is so cool. Get your bag, bro.
Cell to Singularity is a scientifically accurate, non-fiction idle clicker game where you begin as a single cell and have to unlock traits to evolve your biology, increase your intellect, and invent new technology.
Imagine you evolve to become a fucking gooner. You invest all this points and time into the cell, right? Start from a baby snail, grow to a human, and then you grow up to be a fucking Rule 34 artist. That's a W.
In order to conquer the universe and reach the ultimate singularity point. It is a relentlessly fun idle game that
That's
had me hooked
cool.
for weeks. I love the charming low-poly 3D animals that you unlock as you progress through the Tree of Life. They're currently running a limited-time game event focused on the dark depths of the ocean.
The trenches.
See if you can spot stuff you learned from this video on the unlock tree.
Hey, Cuddy, W ad placement,
It's
bro.
free to play and available on Steam, iOS, and Android.
Hoodydude Let's Play? Fuck Undertale. Alright, Undertale, sorry.
If you complete the Deep Sea event and stick around for the next update,
Wait, why are house cats in Africa?
you'll get to play through the Cat event, an update we actually collaborated on together. If you complete that, you'll even unlock a special Tier Zoo themed badge, which will permanently give your simulation a valuable speed
That's
buff.
cool. That's so,
So
cool.
please do check this one out. Cell to Singularity
The house cat remains undefeatable.
is one of my absolute favorite companies to work with, and I love their unique way of getting gamers interested in learning about ecology. Again, it is completely free to play, so click or tap the
Alright. You hear my
link
mans,
in the
bro.
description or scan the QR code on screen now.
Support these original creators, bro. Shout out to Tisha for getting his bag. Shout out to Singularity, because that actually does sound cool as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. It does sound cool. Who do you do not hating an ad? Listen, I'll never hate a sponsor ad like this. I hate YouTube ads. Man, actually, that's a whole nother can of worms. But fellas, that was cool as fuck. That was cool as fuck. That was cool. 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 But like now I'm curious though. Which one are y'all maining? The cuttlefish, I feel like I low-key would do the cuttlefish, but I wouldn't eat them. Like, I will, like, give them seizures and shit, and then fuck off. That's that's all I would do. Like, deadass go up to, like, a fucking fish, right? Just an innocent fish. Go crazy. Give it a little rave fucking epilepsy thing. Little Porygon episode. Boom. And just run away after, like, it just gets, like, fucked up. Low-key, that's what I would do. Just troll. But fellas, that's grab of today's video. But if you like the video, like the video. If you don't like the video, I don't give a fuck. But that's grab of today's video, buddy. Love y'all. Peace. Bye.
Stay away from the snakes cause they slime. Stay away from the faces they grab me. Not teaching no lessons, I'm just being honest. 600 the block, the label is sick. Roll the dice on me, place your bet. Name a nigga that's harder than me that you met. Get your body hit out in the valley like